put me in that same column relative to sequestration. We will be able to figure this out. But I'm very concerned, Mr. Secretary, General Dempsey, Secretary Hale, that behind the veil of this discussion, there are other discussions going on that could be startling when this member looks at your budget and tries to project where it really would take us. I'm very concerned that you've done a pretty good job within your own circle of arguing that national security is critical, and this is the most dangerous time in our lifetime for our country, our freedom, our security. But within the mix of people who are behind that veil are people who don't have that same priority. I'm concerned, as I look at this budget, which today is considerably more generous than I kind of anticipated, but there's little doubt that a foundation is laid that would cause the transfers in the future, short of sequestration, to see us take significant dollars away from national security in order to sustain dollars for other priorities of this administration. And if we get on that pathway, it could lead to the disaster that General Dempsey has referred to. It is very important for us to know that this is the first step. The budget is within your limits, hard for me to criticize, but I see elements here that would suggest that we might very well be going down a pathway that says next year's budget could be dramatically different in terms of defense. This budget would have been considered a disaster to us 5 years ago, but indeed, if we see a different kind of transition over the next year, America ought to be concerned about its security. Certainly, our allies overseas ought to be concerned about our security. So tell me, am I wrong in being concerned that a pattern is being set here that lays the foundation for other people in the mix behind your veil will win the day in terms of reducing defense spending on the one hand, and in turn sustaining and expanding other priorities that really are important but not nearly as important as our national security?
Well, look, all I can tell you is that the President of the United States has made clear to us that he supports what we're presenting here in terms of a strategy, and he has made clear that he opposes sequestration and additional cuts. He wants to give us the opportunity to put this strategy in place for the future. And you know, I know there are always people that you know, that will have their own ideas. There are always individuals that want to come back and make other adjustments. But I have to tell you, I've made clear to the department, and I've made clear to the President, and the President supports me, that we are responding to a law that was passed by the Congress as to what we have to reduce the defense budget. We have done the best job in developing this strategy in order to accomplish that. But we have no margin for error here. And if additional efforts are made to go after the defense budget, I think it could have a serious impact in terms of our ability to implement the strategy I just presented.
If I could elaborate, sir, that's exactly right. The important thing here is, first of all, the President was deeply involved with us in formulation of the strategy in a way that I frankly found very encouraging. It is a strategy that has to have this budget to support it. Anything beyond this, we have to do this. We have to go back to the drawing board on the strategy. You know, you can't just keep tinkering with the, you know, strategy is the kind of the aggregate of your objectives, the resources or the means and the ways. How are you going to do it? And we've got it about balanced right now, but any change in the future means we have to go back and redo our strategy. And I've heard nothing that would indicate the President wants to do that.
Well, Mr. Chairman, not much longer, but Iran is a major challenge in the region of greatest concern. To think that Iran is not going to directly, if they have any of their way, have an impact upon Iraq is just plain nuts. And to suddenly have us have a vacuum there in terms of the role we're going to play. Charlie Wilson's war suggested to us that Afghanistan was a bit complex. What did we do following that successful effort? We walked away, and we're planning to walk away. So it is my concern that a debate needs to take place on your side of the veil and our side that says we must not go down this pathway that's already planning to reduce numbers of personnel, undermining some assets that are critical to our future. You touched upon cybersecurity. So, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Visklowski.